everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today. We're your boys. We always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays, and man, and do I got something to say. And what does my stress levels have to say? Well, my heart has to say. It's been up and down and up and down, and we've been on this roller coaster together, folks. We're going to react to everything that happened this past week and also look forward to the future and see how we can get into the playoffs, guys. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And yeah, guys, this past month, this past 2 weeks, especially just this past week of baseball, where you have that 4-game series against the Texas Rangers, and it's looking like game over. You know, like after that, after you had Texas walk into Rogers Center and just dummy you like that, like, you know, let me ask you, where were you? You know, because I was thinking to myself, like, there's no way October baseball's happening. Like, I was starting to think to myself, like, we're going to have a abysmal last 15 games. We're going to get embarrassed. Like, who's going to get fired? Who's going to get traded? Like, I was going to that place mentally for me. Is that where you were at, too?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anyone who saw that video that I created the morning after the Texas Rangers series, that Friday morning, and I don't really swear on video rooms. I was swearing. I was going off script. I was just ranting. It was getting me into a dark, dark place.
100%.
And granted, I'm not going to take back everything I said on that because there's a lot of truth that I said, and I'll get into it much later when we look at the performances of the team. But, like, there's still a lot of truth. Even though we swept the Red Sox, there was still a lot of truth in that where I felt like we still aren't doing enough offensively, and there really isn't signs that are showing. So, yeah, I was in a dark place, but right now, I'm at a better place knowing that we have a better chance of making playoffs.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, and I think I've been this way for the past few weeks, maybe the past month, I'd say, maybe even a little bit more, just make it to the freaking dance. You know what I mean? Like, I walked into this season, and I think both of us on this channel, we had World Series aspirations, and even though there is still a part of me that hopes, that kind of believes and thinks if all of the dominoes fall properly, like, maybe that could happen. However, I do think that as the season's gone on and as we've seen some of the holes that have developed on this Toronto Blue Jays team, this roster, that to me is kind of like a further step along the way. I just want to make postseason, though, and maybe get into a divisional round. Like, that's like the number one in my line of sight goal for me right now.
Divisional round would be so phenomenal for the Blue Jays. It's the farthest they've ever gone with this new team. Yeah, exactly. And you know what, Jesse, you're absolutely right. A W is a W.
100%.
It's a W. Yeah. But, like, I still need, we'll get into it later, I still need just a little bit more confidence because, like, the way they're playing, the odds of getting a sweep like that aren't very likely. Right. You need everything to fall in the right place. You need the opponents to fall in the right place for us. So we'll get into it much later, but it's stressful. That's why my stress levels are way too high right now.
100%, guys. And let's just flash over to a tweet that I actually made last night, guys. This blew my mind, folks. I mean, what we're referring to right now, this is the visual for it. This is the past 2 weeks, past month of Toronto Blue Jays baseball, effectively. And as you can just see, that graph is just going all over the place, and it's kind of like you can see by series, oh, we win a series, nope, we lose a series. We win a series, we lose a series. We win a series, we lose a bunch of series. Then we have that easy stretch where we win a bunch.
Yep.
And then get swept by Texas, and then sweep the Boston Red Sox. And what's beautiful, folks, is that in this past week, right, we get swept by Texas. We're doom and gloom. We're thinking the season's over, but we got really lucky, guys, because when we swept Boston, you also had the Seattle Mariners just get annihilated by the LA Dodgers. Shout out to Mookie Betts and the boys over there for getting that going. And you had the Texas Rangers also get it by the Cleveland Guardians. Never thought that was going to happen, but, I mean, this is baseball, baby, and that graph, it just shows anything can change at any time. We were at an 80% chance at the beginning of the week. We dropped down to a 30% chance, and now we are back at an 80% chance. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was saying to Nick before the show, this is probably going to be the most memorable week of baseball I've watched in a long time, just because of the low and the high that we all have gone in this entire week. And yeah, we did get pretty lucky. I mean, when I was at my dark, gloomy place, like, you know what, the only way I'm going to get out of this is we sweep Boston and And then the Seattle Mariners get swept, but also I didn't even know the Rangers. I was not even considering the Rangers. I was like, you guys are going to make it. Mm-hmm. They also get swept. So now we're in this second wild card. Got to flash it up real quick.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Second wild card, folks. Like, okay, now we're in a beautiful position, and that's why we're at that 78% chance of winning. So, Nick, what do you feel like? It's 78% chance. Yeah, that's super nice. Also, really quick, shout out to Just Delta King with a $20 dono.
Hey,
let's
go.
Me,
the man, the legend, Delta King. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome into the chat if you're here right now. W's in the chat for Delta King. 101 people watching right now. Please hit that like button, guys. Let's bump this thing up to 30 freaking likes.
Absolutely. Like I was saying, man, like 78% chance. That's the odds right now given by Fangraphs.
Yeah.
Are you on that boat? Are you feeling like that's it right now, or what are you thinking?
I think that we got to keep having the pitching do what the pitching did this past weekend.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm under the impression that at this point of the season, we know what the offense is. We had an incredible series from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Okay, so I got to give him a shout out. You know, he really turned it around this series. But while he was turning around, you had Davis Babe Schneider cool off. You had George Springer cool off, right? So it just feels like our offense can never seem to all get on the same page at one time. You might have one guy popping off, you might have another guy popping off, but for the most part, we're going to be a team that scores 4 runs a game, right?
Yeah.
We need to continue to have our pitching carry us, which is what happened this weekend. You saw Jose Barrios go crazy, right?
Yes.
In the Texas series, you didn't see that. You saw our starters get shelled, and then you had the bad bullpen guys come in, and you had Cabrera giving up grand slams, and you had Bowden Francis doing garbage, right? So there was just problems in that series as a whole. If we want to hit on that 78% chance, which I do think we have a good opportunity to do, pitching needs to remain elite.
I agree, man. Look, I mean, speaking of the pitching over the Boston Red Sox series, like you said, Barrios, 7 innings, no earned runs.
Yeah.
Bassett, 7 innings, 2 earned runs. And yeah, Rio didn't go the full 5, went 4 2/3, but 0 earned runs there. And like, again, the offense, 4 hits on Friday. We get the W. 8 hits on Saturday, 7 hits on Sunday. That's a bit more, but we had to go and get it in the 9th in extra innings with walk-off fashion. And you got it from dudes like Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman had a horrible week of baseball if you took out the sexy walk-off triple that he got in the final game. Everyone's going to remember that super good, but he only had 2 hits the entire week.
Yeah.
He only had 2 hits. So we need, as a whole, as a team, and I'm agreeing with you, just to get a little bit more rounded, I guess you could say, in the offense side of things. We need our pitching to be locked in, like you're saying. And if we could do that, you know, maybe the fact that we're facing the New York Yankees, we're going to be facing the Tampa Bay Rays, isn't a direct competition with us. Maybe we can relax a little bit, just focus on the pitch and not worry about the other dudes in the opposing jerseys and worrying about beating them.
Yeah.
We just got to get focused on one thing at a time.
I mean, I certainly hope so. I'm having a hard time buying in on that because that is something that we haven't seen from this offense all season long. And I think that that's why when we started this show, I was saying my mentality right now is not necessarily at the World Series.
No.
Because we need to have that if my mentality is going to shift to the World Series. If we want to win the World Series, we have the pitching to do so. We have the bullpen to do so. You need to have the hitting to do so, because the second that you go up against the Houston Astros, the Atlanta Braves, if you make it in the World Series or any team like that, they're just going to outslug you, right? It's just going to happen. So that is absolutely the next step to make it to the World Series. I think by playing the brand of baseball that we played this weekend, we're good enough to make it into the wild card and maybe have a shot at making it to the divisional round. Yeah. If we want to take the next step to go to the ALCS and to seriously compete, you're absolutely right, dude. They're going to need to focus up. You're going to need more guys popping off like Guerrero did this past weekend.
You absolutely do, man. And we do have a lot of guys kind of just popping off a little bit, but you got to get some other big boys back. Like, you know, Babe Schneider had a bad week yet. Springer with a bad week. Bo hasn't really turned it on at all yet. But you're right, Vladdy, he was elite. Right, he with the 3 homers, that's phenomenal. You haven't seen Vladdy hit like that with the contact. His barrel's in the contact zone out front. He was driving baseballs hard.
And what's something that I've just missed so much this Toronto Blue Jays season is the lack of pop, man. The feeling that you get when you get an extra base knock that goes over the fence, right? Not only did Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s home runs have a direct impact on that game, but that home run had a direct impact on our playoff odds. You know what I mean?
Well,
if he hadn't have had those home runs, we don't win those games. We don't win that series in Boston. We're not at an 80% chance right now to make postseason. Like having a little bit of pop just changes the freaking game, and Toronto Blue Jays have missed that all season long.
Yeah, and you know what? We got to get pop not only from Vladdy, and I hate to always put it on Vladdy, but we need him to be the core, the nucleus of this lineup. But we need other guys around him to pop up.
Where are the Springer Dingers?
Where are the Springer Dingers? Right? Where are the Bobo Boom Booms? Right? But you know what? I'm thankful that at least in this week we did get a Varsho bomb. Even though he went 3 for 16, his OPS still 778 this week. He was clutch.
Clutch with the triple too. Shout out to that triple in the second game of Boston. That was massive, dude. I was counting that one as an L when I saw Varsho come up to the dish.
Oh yeah,
massive triple.
That was elite, man. And then you had Biggio. This week, Biggio popped off, man. He had a 937 OPS with a homer, with a double, 3 RBIs, 6 runs. 6 runs scored.
Yes.
That bottom of the lineup has been cooking. We said it in our live play-by-plays. They've been cooking, and if they can just keep riding that to the end, that wave, whatever they're doing down there, don't change it. And if those top boys can turn a corner, which they're very capable of doing at any given point, that's the solution. That's what rides us to the wild card.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the bottom of the lineup is doing what they need to do. Like we've been saying all season long, though, we're just missing that additional push, that additional electricity mojo from your George Springers and from your Bo Bichette's and everybody else, right? It was phenomenal to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. show us what he can do, because we have been missing that for a long time. If he can keep going like he's going right now, we've seen him punish the New York Yankees before, right? We've seen him punt. We're going to get Garrett Cole twice, and we've seen him punish Garrett Cole. We've seen him punish those Yankee hitters. If Guerrero can actually get going and get hot in these last 2 weeks, okay, we might be on to something.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree, man. You know, while we're talking about him, why don't we give a little shout out?
100%.
Why don't we give a little shout out to the J?
Spoiler alert, everybody, he's gonna win. But it's time to announce the J of the week.
That's right. Hey, quick shout out there to Guitar Geek with the dono as we're hearing it.
Let's go.
Big dono for this man right here.
For Vladimir Guerrero Jr. There it is, baby. Yeah. And as we've been talking about, everybody, in a week where offense was few and far between, clutch hits just, they were not strung together.
That's right.
Guerrero in the latter half of the week, definitely not in the first half. Because in the first half, there were some rough ABs. But he did turn a corner. We were kind of clowning Guillermo Martinez for some of the stuff that he was doing with Guerrero midweek. But maybe something clicked.
And even with the team, too. Remember that day they just, didn't go to batting practice?
Didn't, yeah.
And actually, that was the day when Vladdy started to turn it around. So maybe just needed the day of resting, not thinking too much about where his mechanics are, right? I think that could do a good reset for a player. And, yeah, Vladdy, 960 OPS, 6 RBIs, 4 runs scored. And, yes, he had 6 strikeouts. That was the beginning part of the week. That was clutch. We need him to keep it going. Honorable mention, Jose Barrios.
Yes.
Amazing performance on Roberto Clemente Day. 7-inning shutout ball. But we need that moving forward to get to wildcard, folks.
100%, dude. This past weekend of baseball was what the Toronto Blue Jays are going to need to continue to freaking do. Let's transition a little bit before we talk about this week coming up. Talk about Texas, talk about Seattle, talk about all of our chances. We got to look actually at the freaking minor league system right now. Shout out to the top prospect, Ricky freaking Tiedemann, man. He is getting an end-of-season promotion to Triple-A Buffalo. He's going to be there. He's going to get a few starts with the team. To be completely honest and transparent here, folks, he wasn't having the best season in Double-A this year. He didn't pitch too many innings. I think he only 36 innings or something like that. A little bit down there. 36 innings or 32 innings, excuse me. ERA just slightly over 5. But that's okay. We know what he's capable of. It's a small sample size. Clearly, the management saw enough stuff to give him the Triple-A boost. And now that's kind of started the entire narrative of, is this in preparation for next season, when maybe there's going to be a little bit of a hole there for Ricky Tiedemann to come in and to fill for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at next season, the only pitcher that's not on the roster in terms of the contracts for 2024 is Hyun-Jin Ryu. Now, a lot of people are optimistic, thinking that Hyun-Jin Ryu might be coming back. I'm going to be honest, maybe not, because, what's the Alec Manoah situation going to be like?
Yeah.
What's the Ricky Tiedemann situation going to be like? Is there another pitcher out there that maybe we can get at a cheaper rate? Because Rio's going to want to cash in for sure.
Sure.
So is there something that else we can look at, right? But do I think it's in preparation? Maybe not. He's 20 years old right now. He's going to be 21 going into next season. I still think that's pretty young for a pitcher, especially when you do have the option of what is the Alec Manoah, or can we sign like a 1-year rental here? I think they want to try and protect him as long as possible, and you're right. He didn't have the best season at AAA. He did get hurt this year. Maybe that stinted a little bit of his development. I think you give Ricky a bit more time. Look, I love Ricky. I want to be on the team for sure, but let's wait a little bit until it's literally so obvious, like Alec Manoah 2021, Alec Manoah 2022, where you need to bring him up. Let's wait a little bit for me. What about you?
Quick shout out here to Last Duel Gaming with a
Woo!
$50 dono saying, great show, guys. The Jays are safe and they're hitting for the playoffs. I think the Blue Jays want to show the AL East they are a lot better this time around. They just swept the Boston Red Sox. They couldn't beat any teams in the AL East. Now they have to. Couldn't agree more, dude. We're gonna see some different approaches, I think, this time around, man. The book is out on these Rays. It's out on the Yankees.
Yeah.
I hope that Guillermo Martinez has done his research, dude, and these guys come in freaking prepared to hit.
Thank you, That's amazing dono, by the way, Abba.
Amazing,
Thank you so much.
Shout out to Last Duel Gaming right there. To kind of put a bow on this Ricky Tiedemann thing, Ricky Tiedemann getting brought up to AAA right at the end of the season. I don't think it's necessarily in preparation for him to start with the Toronto Blue Jays next year, but I do think at the back of your mind, you're looking at that Alec Manoah situation, and you're thinking, what is our relationship with him right now? If we start him with the Toronto Blue Jays, if it's not working out next year, we need somebody who is going to be ready and capable to come in and help us. Could I see a situation where Alec Manoah starts with the Toronto Blue Jays next season, and then it's May, it's June, maybe there's a relationship problem, maybe he's just not performing. Well, Ricky Tiedemann, he's now been cooking for a little bit of the end of this season and all of the beginning of next season in AAA. Maybe he's ready to go. Maybe he can come in and fill that spot while Alec Manoah fixes his mental or fixes whatever he has to do, because we still have no idea what's going on with that situation.
Like, side comment, that's going to be a very interesting thing to cover in the offseason. We're going to hear so much about that.
Massive storyline right there. What the hell is going to happen with Alec Manoah? What is the management going to do? No one has any freaking idea. But I think that Ricky Tiedemann is just perfect insurance for that entire situation.
He's great depth, right? And we've had a problem with our starting pitching depth for a long, long time. Well, if he's right there and he's right at the next edge, because this whole season I was never considering him like right there and like to come up next. Like, it was always going to be, a Trevor Richards or a Hyun-Jin Ryu for the beginning part of the year, or maybe you get a little Bowden Francis starting action. It was never him. He was never ready to be next. So I like that he's becoming the next man up for these Blue Jays.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, my perspective is, Alec, if you're not gonna pitch, if you think that you're too good for AAA, well, Ricky Tiedemann doesn't. We're gonna give him the promotion. We're gonna let him do your spot, and then next season, if you're not being the guy, sorry, dude.
Give him a little bit of humble pie and send him back down. And,
exactly, exactly, bro. Isn't that funny though? The timing. Alec Manoah was supposed to be with AAA. And then he doesn't report, and then Ricky Tiedemann gets the promotion. Isn't it like, I don't think there's anything to do with it, but it's just kind of interesting, the timing right there.
I think it's ironic, and I think they're not related, but I think it's definitely ironic. I mean, you got to prepare. I mean, there could be a reality, folks, where we never see Alec Manoah ever again.
This
could literally be the reality.
I'll give it like a 10% chance. I don't think it's super likely, but it is now on the table, right? At the beginning of the season, I would have said that's completely blasphemous, but I would have laughed you out of the room. Now it's at least on the table. I still don't think that's going to happen. I hope that they mend fences in the offseason and figure out whatever the hell is going on. But it's a possibility.
Yeah, honestly, for me, and I said this off camera, I need Alec Manoah to come out with a statement. Or his camp to come out with a statement. Because you've kind of lost a lot of the fan base. A lot of the fan base, actually. There's some people still rooting for you. Maybe they think they're on the side of, maybe it's a mental thing. Like, we want him to feel better, get better. And, it very well could be. We don't know. I think there needs to be a statement kind of addressing, not that we deserve it, but I think you just need to clear the air a little bit. You know what I mean? You want to be a Toronto Blue Jay, hopefully. I hope you want to pitch in the major leagues and get your opportunity. Just clear the air, make a statement. I mean, if you made a statement and were just honest, I'd welcome you back, man.
Well,
I need to hear the truth.
Here's the thing, and it's not even just for us, right? It's also, what about for those AAA guys? How are you feeling right now, thinking to yourself, wow, I guess Alec Manoah is too good for us.
And his team. And
for the Toronto Blue Jays thinking, wow, okay, so you gave up on us that quickly? Like, we all had your back, it's like, and
what's going on?
Exactly, so it's not even just for the fan base. It should be for everyone right now. And yeah, I completely agree with you. We're getting one side of the story, but this one side of the story paints you in a very bad light. And if you don't want us to think about you that way, you got to come out, you got to give us your side. And then we'll, have to kind of decide for ourselves, man.
Yeah, we will. All right, guys, let's cycle back. Let's cycle back to what we all are here for, and that is the playoff race, folks. We talked about it before. 78% chance of win. Here's the standings, folks. We have 12 games remaining. Let me flash you over our schedule. We all know it. We've been looking at it for a while. Yankees, 3 games. Tampa Bay, 3 games. Going back to Toronto for another 3 games. Yankees, 3 games. Tampa Bay Rays. Now, obviously, when you look over at the wild card standings, the big 2 teams that you gotta have get the heck out of the race is the Seattle Mariners and the Texas Rangers. You could argue there could be a collapse from the Houston Astros. That's definitely in reality. Right. But I think more likely you're looking at those 2 teams. One of them's gonna be out because they play each other 7 times in the next 13 games. They both have 13 games left.
Yeah, and we really did get gifted there, everybody. Like, if they were playing separate teams, I would be a lot more nervous right now.
100%.
And I'm still nervous, folks. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm still very nervous, but I'd be a lot more nervous if they weren't going up against each other. But what's beautiful about them playing one another is that if one of those teams, for instance, was to go crazy and win 6 out of 7, we effectively make playoffs almost automatically.
Locked in.
Right? And we can't bet on that. We can't guarantee that. But, what's the likelihood of someone winning 5 out of 7? Probably pretty reasonable.
And correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I believe that the Texas Rangers are 5-1 against those Mariners this year. So you could see that narrative continue. Maybe they win a 5 of 2, right? Well, what you don't want to happen is an even series, a 4-3 either side, because now they have an opportunity to make up a lot of ground with other teams. And real quick, shout out to Carol.
Shout out to Carol with another dono, giving it to Ryan Stone. Let's go, everybody. W's in the chat, joining the freaking community.
But yeah, you definitely don't want that to happen. I was kind of doing some brainstorming, just looking and just kind of manifesting the worst case scenario. Let's start with the worst case scenario for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Paint it out. What's the worst case scenario?
Worst case scenario.
Okay, other than us going 0-12.
0-12. Yeah, that would definitely be worst case. Assuming we are just floating around, handling business, things that we can't control. Worst case scenario, you have the Seattle Mariners. When we take a look at their schedule, they got the A's and they got the Astros that are other than these Texas Rangers, okay? If they were to somehow sweep those 2 series, and then they go 4-3 against the Texas Rangers, that'd be 10 W's.
10 and
13. That would give them 91 wins.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Rangers side of things. Okay, well then in this hypothetical worst case scenario, they go 3-4. So that's 3 wins, and then they sweep the Red Sox, sweep the Angels. That's 9 wins.
9-4.
They also go 9-4. They also get 91 wins. What does that mean for the Toronto Blue Jays? Well, in order for us to make playoffs, we need 92 wins. That is 11 of 12 wins we need in the last 12 games. 11-1. That would be the obvious worst case scenario. Is it likely? Definitely very unlikely in this situation.
Yeah, okay. So
that's worse.
The worst possible. We can lock it in right now if we go 11 for 12. Everybody, shout out to the gaming for your just did 5 Blue Jays Today memberships. Welcome to the community, everybody. W's in the chat. You guys, we're getting that playoff hype going on right now, folks. You freaking love to see it. Blue Jays Today community stays elite, guys.
Let's go. That's a huge 5 people with memberships. That's elite. Shout out to you, man.
So, I mean, obviously that's worst case.
Worst case.
I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that that's pretty unlikely, folks. The beautiful thing about it is that we could still control our own destiny.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted to see going into the last 12 games, is we are still in a position where we control our own destiny. I do think it's probably a lot more likely to see one of these teams fall off, and I think that we both agree that looking at the schedules, the Seattle Mariners are going to be the ones to do it. Now, if we go back to their schedule very quickly, let's assume that they take 2 off of the Athletics.
Yeah.
That's 2 wins there, that's 1 loss. Let's say that they lose 4-3 here. So they win 3 games against Texas. They lose 4 of them. That gives them 5 W's. And if they lose twice to the Astros, that would give them 6 W's. Meaning that we would only need, 7 W's?
We actually would only need, in this situation, we'd only actually need 5 W's. Because because that would be 88 wins for us and only 87 wins for them. So that would be honestly going 5 of 12. That's a 5-7 record. Yeah, that's not sexy.
Yeah,
you'd be your car is breaking down on your way to the postseason and you don't really feel a lot of momentum. But that actually gets me a lot more confident because if they do exactly what they should do based on the records of these other teams and being humble about it, then that's a pretty good place for Toronto Blue Jays.
It seems to me, folks, again, this is just throwing it out there, throwing shit on the wall. I think that Blue Jays, we make it with a 90-win season.
Yeah, I think
we make it with a 90-win season, right? Which means that we need to win 7 more games moving forward. That needs to be the magic number that we're thinking about right now, folks. Obviously, yes, there is a scenario where that doesn't win.
Crazy. My heart.
Yeah, just the worst.
I'd have a heart attack.
But realistically speaking, 7 W's from your Toronto Blue Jays should be enough to make it into postseason. And again, I think that we can beat the Yankees.
Yeah.
I think that we can absolutely take 4 out of them.
Absolutely.
They're definitely going to be falling off, thinking about their vacations. No Jason Dominguez. He was going crazy. We can win 4 games there. Tampa Bay Rays, that's going to be the tough one.
That will be the matchup. And in that scenario, we only need to win 3. We need to split the series against them, which is doable.
And I also think that this is going to be a phenomenal test as well. And shout out to the Gaming Freak with the $20 dono. Let's go. Blue Jays are in the best spot right now in the wild card race, in my opinion. Couldn't agree more, man. We were in a horrible spot. We are now in the best spot. And what I love about this stretch right now, folks, yes, you get New York, but you also get Tampa Bay. And even though I hate Tampa Bay, this is the test that will get us ready and really temper expectations for the postseason. If we go into Tampa Bay, right, we go into the Trop and we just do business. Yeah. We do work. I'm going to be up here, baby. My hopes and dreams, they're going to start skyrocketing like that graph that we showed earlier, right?
Yes.
But if we get handled, if we just get absolutely manhandled, I'm thinking that we could still make it into wild card, but we might be a one and done sort of squad.
That's the situation. Prove to yourself right now, Jays, that you can handle the playoff team. Because right now, how it's looking, I mean, this past weekend you had Rays, Orioles kind of battling for that number 1 spot in the AL East. But right now you got the Tampa Bay Rays sitting in that number 1 wild card spot. So if we do end up number 2 on the wild card, this is going to be our opponent, and we're going to be in the Trop. Yeah. So get ready to play some real competitive baseball. If it's ugly games like Boston, give them to me. Yes. Give me those ugly games, and I will feel a lot more confident.
And for crying out loud, man, in this entire tenure of this core of Toronto Blue Jays players, we just have never been able to beat the Tampa Bay Rays.
Especially at the Trop.
Especially at the Trop, right? Whatever it is, they have the book on all of our guys. Kevin Kiermaier stole it. He gave it to them. They never gave it back, right? They know exactly what to throw to us. They know exactly how to attack our pitchers. We just never can seemingly get the better of them. This is where you exercise those demons. This is where you show them, you guys better be worried about us. You don't want to spin us in the play. You don't want to pull our number in the wild card race if it comes to that.
Right. Best way to do it, win 2, hell, sweep them.
Yeah.
Sweep them at their home. Shock the Tampa Bay Rays.
100%.
Why don't we get into that, shall we? Let's predict the upcoming week for these Toronto Blue Jays. They take the road. Off day today, obviously. No game. You got the Yankees for 3 games at Yankee Stadium. It's going to be a fun matchup, folks. You've got Kikuchi going up against one of our favorite low-key guys that's made an appearance on almost every single one of our live streams, Clark Schmidt.
Hell yeah, dude.
He's back.
Dude, I'm going to have the biggest breakfast tomorrow. I'm going to have the biggest breakfast, the biggest lunch, the biggest everything. For those of you who knows, the OGs, I got to take my mid-game Schmidt, and honestly, it makes a difference.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So we got to hope we get some big-game Schmidts against Schmidt. And then on Wednesday, you got Gosman. He's going up against Michael King, who's made his way into the rotation. Crazy.
Yeah.
But he's been really good in the rotation. He's got a 2.77 ERA.
Okay.
Very good his last few games. Then Jose Barrios on Thursday up against Garrett Cole. Barrios coming off a great performance, but Cole could be the Cy Young this year, guys.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, that's going to be a really tough one. And shout out once again to NA Studio saying Schneider's getting ruined by these MLB umpires. Terrible calls on that guy recently.
Yeah,
I did notice that, actually. Yeah, I mean, that's bound to happen, right? Like, it happens to everybody. It's happened to Guerrero. It's happened to Bichette. Just, he's got to stay
with it.
Stay with his approach. His approach is still sound. His approach is still there. The numbers will come around.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually kind of concerning me, man, because the fact that Michael King has like really found himself in the rotation, and obviously, I mean, as much hate as you throw to Garrett Cole, he is a top 5 pitcher, maybe a top 3 pitcher, maybe even the best pitcher in the entire MLB this season. So that's going to be a bloody tough matchup, man.
Now, granted, Michael King isn't super stretched out. So one avenue you can kind of paint yourself, maybe you can convince yourself here, is like if we have a good game Tuesday, we're riding these bats where we tax Schmidt, and we get him out of the game early, get into that bullpen, we win that game on Tuesday. Then you got Gosman, your ace, coming into the mound against King. He only goes 4 1/3 or 5 max lately. You maybe then he ends 5. Maybe he does have a good outing, but then you get into that bullpen again. You got guys on double rest, or maybe on 2 back-to-back nights. Maybe we can attack them. We can get to them again. You could convince yourself that we could win 2 right away, and then that tough Cole matchup. Maybe that's the L, and we could win the series.
And I do want a quick shout out here to Tyler Martin saying comment on the Jays base running, because that is going to be very important in the next 12 games, and we have seen some major mistakes. I mean, Alejandro, dude, I love you. I love you. I will always love you. You are my favorite player on the Toronto Blue Jays, undoubtedly. But my dude, you do not have the wheels to be turning these singles into doubles or
dude,
it's
not even turning singles and doubles. It's literally he has to turn the doubles into singles. It's a clear double in the gap or off the wall, and he still can't get it.
Look, I mean, you're given a set of tools. And you gotta work with what you have, right? And
Exactly.
I would like him to improve his tools in the off season. Don't get me wrong, man. I mean, no body shaming at all, but that dude runs like a fucking 5th grader, man. We do need a few more wheels, a little bit more horsepower on Alejandro Kirk. But for right now, if you're swinging the bat well and you're getting hits, just get on base.
Stay on base, man.
Stay at first.
Yep.
Okay, if they need to pinch run you, they will do that, dude. Yeah, because the base running has definitely been an issue. And obviously, we're picking on him right now. It's not just been him. Other people have absolutely made errors, made mistakes. That's going to come back to bite your ass, especially in a wild card series. It's just, it's mental errors that you got to fix.
I think exactly. Mental errors on the base pass, mental errors in your at-bats and your approach. Those are all things you got to fix. And that's it. It's all the offense, really.
Yes.
So we got to fix that up for sure. Hopefully this is a series to do it.
And especially when you're dealing with guys like Garrett Cole,
you can't make those mistakes.
Every single hit is going to be valuable. I am going to predict that the Blue Jays do win 2 in this series. I'm actually thinking that we're going to beat up on Cole.
It's not a bad idea.
For the most part, we actually usually get the better of him. Now, there have been a few outings where he's just, been dominant on us. But I also know a few times, I mean, if Guerrero's getting hot at the right time, flashback to last year where he took him deep a few times and, Cole just, was pitching perfectly and he just, Guerrero was just beating him to the punch, right? So I'm going to say that we win 2 out of 3 here. I'm thinking that we lose the Wednesday one, but we pick one up on Tuesday, we pick one up on Thursday as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2 of 3 as well, and I'm gonna kind of do with my narrative that we really get to that bullpen with the Schmidt game and we ride that into Tuesday, and Cole, he's just locked in. It's a big pitching duel.
I also wouldn't be shocked if that happened with the 2023 Blue Jays offense. Would not be surprised.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then we go down south to the Trop. 3 games against the Tampa Bay Rays. You got Chris Bassett. He's going up against Glasnow. Not as good as he's been in the past. He's gotten beat up a few times. 3.53 ERA. Ryu, he's solid, man. Ryu's been so good, too.
What did I say, man? I mean,
I'm better than Marcus. Marcus doesn't even pitch yet.
No, dude. And I'm going to keep saying this. I'm just going to keep touting my horn, guys, because, very rarely in sports prediction land do you just get something this right.
And it was out of left field, too.
Yeah. But, I mean, I really did hit the nail on this one. Hyun-Jin Ryu looks incredible, baby. And I couldn't be happier for the guy.
Oh, absolutely. And he's going to have another year. He's going to pitch another year, man.
1,000%.
He's going to be going against Little 4.12 ERA. But don't let these ERAs fool you guys. Let me finish Sunday and let me tell you why. Kikuchi, he'll be finishing off Sunday, 3.81 ERA versus Bradley, who's got a 5.56. But again, don't be fooled, because the Rays in the last 30 days have the second best ERA in baseball. Blue Jays, we're down to 12th.
Right.
So
and I mean,
they're good.
It's also the Tampa Bay
Rays
too, right? Because, you know, they pitch out all these losers, so you have no idea who they are. They throw 1.5 pitches basically, and somehow dice us up, and then they bring in, you know, a bunch of bullpen guys for this match, you know, it's all ridiculousness. Right?
Yeah,
I hate it. You know, it feels like devil magic, and you know, we really do just need to send them into the sun. So yeah, this is gonna be a tough one as always. It really does depend on how the bats are swinging in the Bronx.
Yeah.
You know, like, I really hope that these wins in New York, they're not just done by the pitching staff, but we are capable of hitting Garrett Cole. If you can hit Garrett Cole this season, you can effectively hit anybody.
Right, exactly.
Right, so I'm going to feel so much more confident if we are capable of doing that. I do find it very difficult, though, right now, just based on the way that the bats were swinging in this past week, to predict a W series in the Trop. I'm saying that we lose 2 there.
I am also going to say we lose 2, and my reason behind that is I feel like the Blue Jays, and I want someone to get a stat. I know there's a stat out there for it, but I do feel like the Blue Jays do better the second or third time they see a pitcher.
That makes sense.
They do. I mean, like everybody else does. They're like, you know what I mean? But I really do find that we don't do well at all when we face a pitcher for the first time. Like, it feels like we take a long time to figure a pitcher out. Now, I could be wrong. Someone prove me wrong out there.
You might be onto something there, because I saw a statistic, and I apologize that I can't remember who tweeted this out, and I don't remember the actual number, but really what it came down to was the Blue Jays are the worst team in the league against rookie starting pitchers.
Right, exactly.
Like, whenever we face a rookie starting pitcher that, you know, we just have no book on at all, we've never seen him before, nobody has any idea who this kid is, we get absolutely annihilated. And it's not like this guy's pitching properly.
Right.
Or he's pitching properly, but he's not pitching incredibly or anything like that. We're just swinging at his garbage and not offering up at the good stuff. And we do that time and time and time again.
Whatever it is, it feels like the Blue Jays, at least for the majority of the season, have been relying a lot on gathering information and then applying it the next at-bat. Well, against the Tampa Bay Rays, they don't allow you to do that. Mm-hmm. They bring in new arms like virtually every other inning. Yep. So you got to be able, and I think, honestly, I think what's really helping Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he actually leads the league in first pitch hits. More than Ronald Acuna Jr. He was number 2. I think you gotta stick with that approach, because if you get deep into these Rays pitchers at bats and you're down 2 strikes, you're screwed. You don't know what's gonna happen. They're gonna pitch your weaknesses. You're gonna be guessing. You're screwed. Get on the first pitch. They're gonna try and get ahead. I think that's gotta be the game plan. If they can do that, then they might win the series somehow if they grind it out. But right now, until they prove otherwise, they're gonna lose 2. And they're going to go 3-3 on the week.
3-3 on the week, baby. We might be in Depresso land again come the end of the week.
Yeah.
Because Seattle has such an easy week against Oakland. And they do play the Rangers, at the end of it. So who knows what happens there. But we could be pretty close at the end of this week. This season really might come down to the wire.
It's going to, folks. Actually, with that being said, guys, I wonder if I have it up here. It's going to come down to the wire. And we're going to watch the Tampa Bay Rays at the Toronto Blue Jays. And let me see if it is here. There it is, folks.
Yeah.
September 30th, we're going to be at Real Sports. And I'm glad it's coming down to the wire, because now this is going to be such an electric game, folks. If you're in the Toronto area, Real Sports, downtown Toronto, 15 York Street. Right here is the address. We're going to be going live, doing our live play-by-play reaction at Real Sports. It's going to be during a very, very important series.
We're going to be bringing some of you guys up into the set to come talk with us, to do an inning with us. Obviously, the beers are going to be going a little bit, folks. We're going to have some deals. We're going to have some giveaways. It is going to be an electric time, guys. I want to see the entire Blue Jays Today community coming out, watching the Toronto Blue Jays with us. Also, we just want to put some faces to names, guys. Meet you guys in person, and hey, who knows? Who knows where the night can take us, everybody?
Absolutely.
Blue Jays get a big win and clinch postseason.
That's right. If we clinch, I am partying.
Yeah, 1,000%, everybody. So September 30th, book your spot right now. We want to see you there. With all of that being said, guys, smash the like button. We're so close to 69 likes. And let's give a shout out to the sponsor of this video.
Time for a quick shout out to Betway. Betway is the best place to make all of your sports bets on all of your favorite teams. Betway is also in collaboration with iGaming Ontario. Must be 19 years years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Spinning fortune, baseball, colorful future. The spinning fortune, baseball, colorful future determining, stat analyzing, and it's
a wheel that we spin every week, guys.
Every single week, everybody. Yeah, sorry, technical difficulties right there.
Misclick.
The Blue Jays season might be coming right down to the wire. This one is not everybody. For the OGs who've been following on for a while, Team Nick, as you know, clinched the W last week. We did the math. The maximum amount of categories that Adam could win would be 32, which would mean that he would still lose by a week and a half.
But you know what? At least I'll go home feeling
a little
like
better about yourself.
I did.
Yeah.
You know, I really came in the end there.
I'm trying to push 40 though. Like I don't think we've
you
ever had
do damage.
Yeah, we've
never
never had a 40 bomb before. So it's like I'm just feeling like I'm in my groove and I want to hit 40. So we're gonna predict this thing. You guys play along with us. Whose week is it?
It's yours because I knew I would have picked Babe and Gossman right there.
That's absolutely right, dude. So it is gonna be my freaking week, everybody. I have not spun a bonus player for myself yet. I have only two. No, this is my last opportunity.
That's it, yeah. Because that next...
This is my last opportunity.
Yep,
Give me a goddamn bonus player for crying out loud. I think I deserve it.
All right, guys, let us know, too, who you would predict in the chat for each category. Help us out, folks. No bonus player this time.
Again.
And it's going to be K per 9.
Well, I mean, usually we have a go-to on this one.
I only got a couple guys that were really good. But I can bring up the last week of all the boys.
Because Gausman kind of got blown up, but I mean Gausman's still Gausman, you know. He's
Gausman's leader in Ks in the American League. You know,
it's kind of tough to go against that. So you don't need to look it up, man. I'll just take Kevin Gausman. I mean, I think he's won me this category just time and time again. So I'm more than comfortable with taking Kevin Gausman here and just locking that one down.
All right. Again, great category. Great pick there. I'm going to try and select someone here because I don't even know. After that, it's like, who's hot this week? Last 30 days, I mean, Berrios is showing up a little bit.
Kevin Gausman is the guy.
Coach, Kevin Gausman is definitely the guy. Kokochi, though, but he's going to be going... Is he going twice? No, he's not. No, he is. He's going up against the Yankees and the Rays. That's going to be tough. I don't like going twice because then, you know, it's going to... If it evens out, it's kind of worse. So, you know what? With that being said, Yankees strike out a lot. I'm going to go with my boy, Jose Berrios, coming off a great performance. Let's do that.
That's the correct choice, man. Yeah, Kevin Gausman for me and Jose Berrios for you. Berrios, just shout out to Jose Berrios for having an absolutely incredible bounce back year, man. I mean, you know, too much can't be said about Jose Berrios being elite this year.
Oh, amazing. Like, big shout out. Big shout out.
Let's spin it again, everybody.
What you guys got? Gosman,
Everybody's
Berrios,
going for the bonus player for Team Nick right now.
Oh, it's coming. And he gets it.
Everybody.
All right,
it took me to the final freaking week, but I finally get 2 opportunities. Let's go.
Castanino's calling it. What's it going to be, guys? So you could either pick 2, or you're going to pick 2, obviously.
Yeah.
But you can either go at the end or sandwich it. You got Jay Killer.
Okay.
That's a fun one.
This, to me, really does feel like a clear and obvious, I go second, you go first.
Okay.
Go ahead. Be my guest. Do your thing. Pop off.
I'm trying to think if there's any, like, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a Jay Killer. I mean, yeah, you got Aaron Judge. You know.
How is he doing recently?
That's what I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, like I have not been caught up on my Aaron Judge statistics, to be completely honest.
Let's go look over here at the Yanks. 30 days. Aaron Judge, he's doing Aaron Judge. Gleyber Torres has been popping off over the last 15 days. To be more specific. Yeah, he's okay, but nobody's really popping off. He's on the IL. What about the Tampa Bay Rays? Let's take a look. Let's do ourselves some justice here.
Yeah, they have some guys, man. They got some dudes.
Last 15 days. You got Yanni Diaz.
He's been consistent.
Good. Harold Ramirez. Yes, I remember he's been hot. He always beats up the Jays.
He does hit us really hard, actually. He does hit us really hard.
Ooh, I might do a sneaky... I might do a sneaky Harold Ramirez. I mean, you can never go wrong with a Glaber or even an Aaron Judge here. I do remember he destroyed us last. You know what? Screw it. I'm not winning. Let's go Harold Ramirez. Let's try it out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Well,
is not
sneaky.
where I thought that you were going to go. But
I gotta try something.
you're going wild, man. Harold Ramirez. I mean, Aaron Judge? Like,
Yeah.
do I feel weird about saying Aaron Judge?
No,
I
no.
think I'll take Aaron Judge.
Of course
dude.
you would.
I'll be honest. I thought for sure you were gonna pick Garrett Cole there.
Oh, that's true.
I thought
That's
for
true.
sure you were gonna pick
That's
Garrett
true.
Cole.
But oh well.
That's
What
okay.
can I do?
Harold Ramirez.
Harold Ramirez, bro. He beats up
He
the
does.
Jays.
Oh wait, I get to go twice.
Oh, that's right.
I get to go twice.
Who else are you
Oh my
gonna
god! I've never spun bonus player, so I forgot. Who else should I do here, guys? Aaron Judge and you know what? I'll take Gleyber Torres
Yeah.
too. If we get beat up by the Yankees, I'll probably win.
That's the thing, and I hope we don't. I
Yeah.
don't think we're gonna
Well,
get beat up by the Yankees.
I really hope that we don't either. So
You know?
here we go, everybody. One final spoon. What's it gonna be for Team Nick?
And can't get bonus player twice, but it's gonna go down to base on balls batter.
I kind of hate this one. I always
This
hate
one
this one.
kinda
It's all
blows.
random. It's all over the place. I have no
Yeah.
idea. Nobody just... Did you record it or did
I
nobody?
go to the court of the best players, so I can go and flash over.
No, it's okay. I mean, they're all... Honestly, nobody popped off here. Like, the most is, like, 3 by Guerrero. Like, do I think Guerrero's going to get 3 again?
Guerrero, I think Kirk leads the team in the last 15 days.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And then it's Guerrero, Biggio, Schneider. But Schneider's been kind of cold.
I'm gonna go crazy here. I'm gonna go Kevin Biggio.
Kevin Biggio is fun. I
Yeah.
like it.
You know what? He's starting to get hot right now. He's gonna get more playing time. We know that Kevin Biggio of old can walk. I'm hoping that Guerrero smacks it deep and and Kevin's getting on base.
I am going to take Vladdy because if he is going to get hot, then people are going to avoid
They
him.
might
and
pitch around him for
and
sure.
what I saw in that last series is he started earning some walks because they were
100%.
starting to avoid him.
All right, everybody. That is the Blue Jays Today show, everybody. You guys comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on everything that we talked about, folks. Blue Jays back up 80% chance to make postseason. Never would have thought that we would have been here on Thursday night. But we're back.
I thought we were going to be in the tank being like, okay, so, well, we need to win. We need to win 11 of 12 to be in the postseason.
Yeah,
Not
literally,
anymore.
folks. Literally. I'd like, just please, this one goes out to the Toronto Blue Jays. For the love of God, everybody, finish it off, boys.
Let's go, everybody. Let's do it.
I want that wild card post-game live
Me
so bad.
Oh, my God.
I want that for this community, folks. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And
Go, Jays, go!